Welcome to this broadcast of the second annual Santa Rosa Junior College Petaluma Campus Building Community Breakfast, presented by the Friends of the Petaluma Campus Trust. This event was made possible by the generous support from the following sponsors: Clover Stornetta, Coldwell Banker, Exchange Bank, Frank Howard Allen Realtors, Jacobson and Breen Wealth Strategies, Lace House Linen Supplies, Mahoney Davison Company Property Management, the Petaluma Area Chamber of Commerce, the Petaluma Health Center, Petaluma Rotary Club, Petaluma Orthopedic and Sport Therapy, Pacinti and Brinker LLP, the Preston Family, the Rotary Club of Petaluma Sunrise, St. Joseph Health of Petaluma Valley, Torkelson and Associates LLP.
Welcome. And I think one of the things I'd like to just ask everybody is to notice how full this room is. It's just really amazing to see all this support for Santa Rosa Junior College and for the Petaluma campus. And with that in mind, I want to open up with asking Christina Koch, who is the president of Friends of the Petaluma Trust, to introduce other fellow board members here. And Christina?
Thank you, Babs. Again, everyone, I want to welcome you and thank you so much for being here and filling this room. We're just thrilled to see this support. And I'll just correct Babs. I know she knows how to say this. I tell people, just think about the cows around Petaluma, and then you'll say our name right. It's Kauk.
Thank you.
Otherwise, it's hard to say. It's a German name. Thank you, Mitchell. So I wanted to acknowledge the hard work of all the members of the Friends Trust, which is an arm of the foundation of the Santa Rosa Junior College. And some of our members of the trust have been with it for, I think it's probably been at least 15 years. And those would be Carol LaBarle and John Dado. And I'm going to ask all of you to please stand so we can recognize you. So as I say your name, please, Carol, Ann, and John Dado, could you please stand? So thank you for your hard work. Our chair-elect for next year is Doris Tolks, who is very active in many ways in the community and also was on campus. Doris, where are you? Please stand. Oh, great. Doris. Oh, there she is at the doorway. We have Ron Malnati, who is our immediate past chair. Ron, are you somewhere? There's Ron. Rich Albertoni, who is also, I think, recently chair. Rich, somewhere there he is. We have Wally Bragdon, who is, I think, here today. I think all of us are here practically. Good morning, Wally. Thank you. John Dado, who I introduced. Carrie, John, are you still standing? I didn't even see you stand. Carrie Mahoney Davison, who has been chair of this event and made it happen. Thank you, Carrie. Kurt Groniga, who is also on the foundation board. Is Kurt here this morning? And we have Marcia Harris. Thank you, Marcia. Noah, thank you. Noah Jacobson. Noah, welcome. Thank you. We have Dave Martinelli, who was not able to be here this morning. Rod Moore. Rod, there you are. Tony Parrish. Thank you, Tony, for your hard work. Warren Payne. Warren, there you are. Anita Pellegrini, who is also on the Board of Trustees for Santa Rosa Junior College. Thank you, Anita. And we have Ray Pounds. Ray, are you there? You are. And Phil Telemontes. Is Phil here this morning? So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this morning. I think you'll enjoy the program and hope that you enjoy your breakfast and that you will be here every year as we continue to do this, and welcome everyone to the campus. Thank you again. Thanks,
Okay.
Babs.
Thank you. And we have other elected officials who are here supporting us as well, so I'm going to do similarly to acknowledge you and ask you if you wouldn't mind just standing up. We have Terry Lindley, who is the president of the Santa Rosa Junior College Board of Trustees. Terry? No. Okay. Jeff Kunde? Jeff? Don Edgar? Richard Call? And Anita, again, Anita, thank you. And Bob Burdo. It's just so great to see this wonderful turnout. So in addition, we have some other elected officials here. Do we have David Rabbit is joining us today? David, thank you. Our county supervisor. David Glass, the mayor of Petaluma. And Chris Albertson, our vice mayor. Teresa Barrett, City Council member. And Mike Harris, City Council member. Okay, great. And just a few more. Sonoma County Board of Education, Ray Peterson. Is Ray with us today? Yes, thank you, Ray. We have one of our local boards, school district boards, Marlene Abel from Old Adobe. Marlene, thank you. Not sure, is there anybody that I forgot? Well, I would like to say I know that anybody that I didn't mention, everybody is just a dignitary here, and again, really appreciate your coming. So to tell you what this program's about, it's really about supporting Santa Rosa JC Campus. As you know, this is the second annual breakfast, and as Christina said, we assume it's going to go on forever. And it's very exciting. The Friends of the Petaluma Campus Trust have taken on the music program, supporting the music program on the campus, as well as bringing events here as their main fundraising event. And you'll see there's a lot of material on your table about the 88 Keys campaign and the opportunity again to purchase a key on this wonderful piano we now have on this campus and be able to support the sustainability of these music programs. So that's number one, what we really want to see happen. And as I said, there's material on your tables about it and some articles that have been written about this amazing effort. In addition, we're going to hear from our president, Dr. Frank Chong, is going to talk to us about the program, as well as our vice president of the Petaluma campus, Dr. Jane Saldana Talley. And then finally, we are going to hear from students, and we're going to get to hear from just an amazing music instructor that we have on campus who is just a tremendous resource, Rudolph Bud Guinness. Again, as you can see, I struggle a little bit with names, so if I didn't say it correctly, please correct me. In addition, my responsibility, and you'll see me kind of wander close to our speakers, is to just be able to keep things moving so that you have a chance to see all of what we have to offer today and also see ways that you can continue to support the campus as ambassadors and stewards. So what I'd like to do is start with the national anthem, and Francis Upton is going to join us and share with us. Thank you, Francis.
Good morning. Oh, say, can you see through the dawn's early light, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly gleaming, and broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly gleaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? For the land of the free and the
Thank you. Thank you, Francis. That was wonderful. Now I'd like to introduce the president of Santa Rosa JC, Dr. Frank Chong. And I think you all know that Frank is our 5th president superintendent and the first to be a Petaluma resident. So I'm always thrilled to see him at Copperfields, at the movies. So Frank, with great pleasure, I'd like to introduce you.
Good morning, everybody. It's great to be in Petaluma. I had to just roll out of bed this morning and get over here instead of driving up to Santa Rosa, so it's always a delight. And Babs is absolutely correct. I'm a proud Petaluma resident now, and it's my adopted home. And people say, well, where do you live? And I said, well, if you face Lynn Woosley's house, I'm left of Lynn Woosley. And that's very hard to be left of Lynn, and if I were any further left, I'd be in Cuba. But she's a great neighbor because she's never there. And she says, well, Frank, if you ever want to use my backyard, or so Lena and I just go to her backyard because ours is full of weeds. But I want to personally thank Clark Rosen over there for helping me find a house. It's really difficult to find a house in Petaluma these days because nobody's selling and everybody's buying, and I think all the realtors in the crowd know that. But I tell you, it's been a great experience getting to know Petaluma. And I went to my first butter and eggs parade, and people kept talking about it. And I went back to New York, and I told my family, I said, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade is something, but you haven't lived until you've been to the butter and eggs parade. And people like Mo have been taking me to, he coerced me to go be the judge at the chili cook-off a couple weeks ago contest for a fundraiser for Cinnabar. And the first 6 samples of chili was wonderful. The last 36 was a little different. But that's the great thing about Petaluma is there's always something going on. This weekend I was over at an event honoring John Records from COTS, who I've gotten to know a little bit through my friend Tom Isaac, and what a wonderful human being. And people like John and all the people in this room get it. You recognize the value of education. You recognize the value that this institution has provided to each and every one of you, many of you. How many in the audience have either attended the JC or have children who've gone to the JC? Raise your hands. Wow, I mean, if we could get that type of election during any type of national election, we would have a different kind of country. But having said that, I would just say this year has been a year of, for me, getting to know different people and understanding that part of what I bring to this region is the opportunity to collaborate and partner with many wonderful people. And we know that the new paradigm shift, the new funding shift, the new normal, as people say, is really about finding a dance partner. And I really want to acknowledge Steve Bowman and the Petaluma School District and the folks from Roanoke Park, Katati. We've really tried to develop a program that Jane will speak more specifically about called Gateway to College. It's a program that I had when I was over at Laney College, my previous institution. And it's basically a dropout recovery program. Every day in the United States, 7,000 students drop out. Nationally, 1.3 million students drop out of college, And Sonoma County does a much better job than other counties, but yet with that even, I think only about 3 out of 4 students will graduate from high school. So this program is really targeted for those students who may have dropped out, and they can come back in their junior and senior years, not to the high school where they had problems and challenges, to that peer group that may have problems with, but to come back to the JC and take classes at a college. And you'd be amazed when you see young people, 16, 17-year-olds, come back and they come to a college environment, they kind of straighten up a little bit because they're with their older brothers and sisters, their peers are a whole different group. And by the time they graduate from high school here, not with a GED, but with a high school diploma, many of them will take electives here. Instead of taking their electives at high school, they will take community college classes, and they'll be caught up with their peers. And some will even graduate with both a high school diploma and an AA degree. So I'm really very enthusiastic about this program, as you can tell. And we have some great leadership behind it. And that's part of what we're trying to do, is we really want to partner with the K-12 system in working together with the JC. We want to partner with organizations like COTS, so those students have an ability to have a second chance. And it's really a wonderful opportunity to also get around Sonoma County, particularly in Petaluma, and find this community is so generous. And I think I'm going to put a sign up that says, "We'll talk for food," because I've been invited to so many different functions throughout Petaluma, and it's just a wonderful community of support throughout the west side, the east side, and I'm starting to learn there's also, you know, the dairy part out on Lakeville, and Dan Benedetti also always points out to me where the dairy parts of the county are. And I even gotten out to Valley Ford and had a burger at Rockefeller's Oyster. So I'm eating my way through this county, as you can see. I put on about 12 pounds, and I'm talking to Tara Jacobson about getting me on a program so I can trim down a little bit. But you've been so welcoming to Lena and myself in terms of people have invited us over to their houses for dinner, and all we do is eat, you know. And I saw a comedian at the Pride Comedy Festival this weekend who got up there and said, "I love coming back to Sonoma County because, you know, you have the wineries, you have Lagunitas, you have the breweries, you have your pot farms. Like, do you guys in the audience know what day it is?" And they said, you know, "Oh, you don't care." Everybody was happy. But that's the great thing. I'm learning to love Sonoma County. I'm learning to love Petaluma and all its diversity. And there's the JC's on a good track. You know, funding's getting better thanks to the support of you who supported Proposition 30. We're going to be able to add 500 classes in the next year. We're also going to, we brought back the Doyle Scholarship thanks to Exchange Bank, our partners for all of these years. I mean, John Data was telling me this morning that he was one of the early recipients of the Doyle Scholarship. And, you know, you turned out okay. About 114,000 Sonoma County residents, and we also have a slither of North Marin. Dan was over at the Marin High School giving out the checks the other day, and he said, "Why are we giving money to students in Marin?" I said, "Well, part of our district has a small piece of it in Novato, and many students come from Marin, from Napa to the JC because they know we have excellent programs, and I would never disparage College of Marin or Napa. But I know that from looking at the statistics, more students draw from those counties than we send over to them. So that's a testament of the quality of our programs. You know, and you're in for a real treat today. You know, one of the most important jobs a college president does is hire faculty. And the reason this college and this district is such a wonderful college and district is because we have wonderful instructors. All of you think about the instructor that changed your life at the college, and I'll have alumni come up to me often and say, you know, Jack Wegman changed my life. Bob Duxbury changed my life. Rudolph Beganis, when you hear him today, he will change the lives of many students because of his passion for music, for education, and a wonderful story, you know. And we have a wonderful foundation here. We have a wonderful staff under the leadership of Jane. And we have wonderful faculty, many in the audience, people like Michael Urubian, one of my math instructors who is a leader here. He's going to retire, but he'll come back and teach part-time. But these faculty members will change students' lives. And it's because of your support and your generosity that we're able to do the things that we typically couldn't do because of the state of the budget. You know, and I'll just close with a quote from Leonard Cohen. I used this in a speech earlier last week at my president's address, and it's from his song Anthem, and it goes, "Ring the bells that can still ring. Forget the imperfections. All bells have the cracks in it, and that's what let the lights in. You know, that's what let the light in. And your ability, your generosity to help our students will light the way for our students. So I really want to thank you for welcoming me to this community. I want to thank you for your long-standing support of the community. I want to thank particularly my Board of Trustees who had the faith and confidence in hiring me and giving me an opportunity to try to follow in the footsteps of a legend named Bob Agrella, who's become a friend and mentor to me. It's been a real wonderful 2 years and hopefully many more to come. I'm really looking forward to getting to know each and every one of you better. I've met the other day John Crowley from Aquas Cafe. I think he's here today. I've heard a lot of great things about what he's trying to do in terms of community building, social networking, and you know, we have a lot of great individuals here who want to transform the community. The way this community approaches homelessness and through COTS has been inspiring to me. The way we're looking at trying to build community in the year 2013 at a time when we don't have the kind of social organizations that many of us enjoyed when we were growing up. We have to create this whole new paradigm. And for you to be here and understand that and support it and have the confidence in the college is wonderful. So with that, I just want to say thank you very much, and I'll see you at the next chili feed.
Thank you, Frank. And now, with pleasure, I'm going to bring up our student, Hareli Reynosa, who's going to join us and tell us a little bit about her experience.
I just apologize in advance for being nervous. So, my name is Hareli Reynosa Gutierrez. I was born in Jalostotitlan, Jalisco, Mexico, and my family moved here to California when I was 2 years old. I started attending the Santa Rosa Junior College in the fall of 2010, and this past May, I graduated with an AA and will be attending UC Berkeley in spring 2014. I joined Puente. Thank you. I joined Puente, a learning community, during my first year at the Santa Rosa JC and chose to take most of my classes in Petaluma Campus my first year because of how easy it is to get around. It's great professors and beautiful library where I spent most of my time studying. Upon entering the JC, I had no idea of what classes to take in order to transfer one day. My goal was to transfer to a CSU and major in criminal justice to then become a probation officer. However, Petaluma Puente transformed me as a student and changed my goals. I will now be attending a majoring in sociology with the hope of one day attending law school. In Puente, I made friends that I still have to this day 2 years later. The Petaluma Puente also helped me and my friends network. I met police officers and probation officers whom I had the chance to talk to and further understand their professions to assess whether or not I wanted to pursue the same. My professors and counselor were among the best. One of them is actually here. His name is Jeff Navarro. They truly pushed us to succeed and cared about our academic success. They weren't just professors assigning homework and grading papers. They were mentors and friends. This is what a learning community is about: building connections with people while developing as a student and pursuing a higher education. Thank you.
What an inspiration. Thank you, Hareli. And so now, with pleasure, I'd like to invite Dr. Jane Saldana-Talley, who's the vice president of our campus, who is going to, again, give us information that's very specific to Petaluma. So welcome, Jane.
Thank you, Babs. And I'll tell you, Hareli, we're all nervous when we stand up here, so it's not just you, it's all of us. Good morning. This is a breathtaking view for me to be able to see all of you out here. And so I just, from the bottom of my heart, really want to thank all of you for being here, and the Friends for making this possible. Last year was not a fluke. You came back. We didn't run you off. So we're really, really happy to have you here today. I've worked in the business of education now and I figured this out the other day, for 40 years. And for those of you that maybe doubt the veracity of that claim, this is me. This is my first full-time job in education. I was an elementary school secretary. And no, I did not Photoshop in that typewriter and that phone. That was actually how it was. But so as you can tell, I've changed. Education's changed. A lot of the world has changed in the time that since I started in this business. But one of my favorite times of the year is, I love the beginning of school, but the end of school for me, the end of the year, is a time of celebration of all of our accomplishments, and graduations and commencements, and watching students like Jireli move forward. But it's also for us in our business a time when we start a new year, when we bid folks that they retire at the end of this year and they move on, and we invite new faculty and staff and administrators on board. And we get our budgets, and we kind of think about what we're going to be doing for the next year. And it's exciting for me because you never quite know what's going to happen. You just don't know who's going to walk through the door that year. We hire faculty, we hire administrators, we think we know what we're getting from them, but so often what I'm beginning to find is that they come with special gifts that we never anticipated. And so this year what I've really begun to think about a little bit is this whole idea of synergy and serendipity, that you put pieces together and they create a synergy that you never really anticipated. There are things about the community or about our students or about our staff. A new president joins us, a new faculty member who has a skill in putting together a cinema series that, we hired him to teach media, and we learned that he's able to put on a cinema film festival for our community. So these are really important. For me, these are important elements about what we're doing. I've now been at the JC, the Petaluma Campus, for 6 years, and I had a president one time who advised me that you have to stay with the place for at least 6 years to kind of see how things develop. That to leave any sooner is to really do yourself and the institution a disservice. And this year, for the first time, I'm beginning to see some things happening particularly on this campus that are a delight to me. I was privileged to commission these beautiful facilities. If you haven't seen them before, they're remarkable. As I said last year, please go out and tell other people about this, because you made this happen. The voters of Sonoma County made this happen for us. And I've also had the opportunity, in 6 short years, of welcoming onto this campus over half of our faculty and residents, more than half of our support staff, and 100% of all of our managers. So in the time that I've been here, there's been a tremendous amount of turnover, and there will continue to be that because of, our workforce is aging and moving on, and so that will continue to happen. This year, and again, I'll echo what Frank said, the passage of Prop 30 really helped us to not be focused on a lot of resource issues and to begin to move on. And since 2009, we canceled about a third of our schedule. And so by being able to bring sections back, that's really important to us. It's important to our students. And we are really looking forward to what that will do for us. The academic opportunities that are available on this campus, we offer, and students from beginning to start to finish can complete all of their general education patterns, whether they're getting a SRJC degree or moving on to transfer to CSU or UC. And we have 16 majors on this campus. 4 of them are transfer majors, and 4 certificates. So again, students don't have to go anyplace else except the Petaluma campus in order to be able to get through that. This year, as Frank mentioned, we started, we applied for it. Actually, it was at Frank's insistence, and it was about this time last year when we were trying to convince the Gateway to College National Network that this was the place, and we were the people, and this was the community that could launch a program. And in some ways, in their minds, we were not in Oakland or one of the larger school districts in LA, and we convinced them that this was the place because we could do it better. We had the resources, we had a way to build retention and make these students successful. And the Gateway to College program is a dropout retention and student retention dropout and recovery program. And we're in partnership with Petaluma City Schools, Kotati, Rohnert Park, and SCO at this time, although we're in conversation with Sonoma Valley and Santa Rosa City Schools as well. In early November, we found out that we were funded, and this program, it's very interesting. They give you seed money, and then it's the average daily attendance that we share with the school districts that will continue to support this program as long as there are dropouts. And I really hope the day comes when we have to say, you know what, we're going to give this program up because we don't have any more dropouts to serve. But over the course of the next 4 years, we'll realize about $2.3 million to support this program. We hired our director, Vanessa Luna Shannon, and we're hiring faculty and staff, and we've connected now to a national network of colleagues, 43 colleges across the nation who are doing exactly this kind of work, and are working together on this. We've connected with them through peer and trainings that we've had, and we've started information sessions. This fall, we will accept 2 cohorts of students of 24, so 48 students. So far, we've received 30 applications for this program, and this is not an easy application process. You don't just put your name down on a piece of paper and say, I want to join. There are 3 separate essays that students have to write, and they really have to be motivated to participate in this program. 60% of the students that we have applications from now are males, and the dropout rate for young males is significant across this country. And the fact that we're able to recover some of those students through this program is a great pleasure for me. We're also developing a tremendous number of community partnerships. And so this program is not just about SRJC, it's not just about the Petaluma campus, but it's about this community and those partnerships. So I'm very proud of it. April 5th, we're doing strategic planning this year under the oversight of Dr. Chong, and we held a community conversation on this campus. We had 60 participants. We held 3 others throughout the county. But what we heard from that conversation was a need for stronger community connection, responsiveness to community needs like workforce training, community education, and lifelong access to these wonderful facilities. They want to see restoration of courses and the things that we're doing. They want us to keep pace with the future. And they want more classes, more opportunities. They want new classes and new opportunities. So we'll be working on that. This year we had the opportunity, thanks to our Carol L. Ellis Auditorium and the beautiful piano that we've acquired. The Chamber Concert Series was here for the very first time. We've never been able to have one of those performances in our auditorium. We had a free Cuban music and film festival, and some student music recitals. We have our cinema series, and we have a student film competition. We have a faculty member in residence on this campus who teaches networking, but he's now working on he works with a National Science Foundation grant, but now he's working on a grant that in partnership with our Homeland Security folks at the Public Safety Training Center on cybersecurity. And so this will be a national federal grant. I'm hoping to tell you more about that next year. We developed our fitness, health, and nutrition program under the guidance of Tara Jacobson. There's been an increase in enrollment in that particular programs. We've established internships. We now are doing certification on this campus, so our students don't have to go elsewhere to be certified. We got a link with our Gateway to College program because wellness and fitness is a really great thing for students who are in those circumstances. And we've already formed a community, a local advisory committee. We had a volunteer fair this year. We invite, this is in combination with our associated students, and we had nearly 40 community agencies and nonprofits who joined us and gave our students the opportunity to sign up for internships and volunteer activities, service learning, and so and that particular event continues to grow. We also this year, with the help of the Friends of Petaluma Campus Trust, the endowments that we've raised over the last 5 to 6 years have put back into this campus alone about $136,000 in funds that we did not have. And we've used that to build our science, technology, engineering, and math, the STEM areas, to build up those programs in chemistry and microbiology and astronomy. We've got math calculators out there so students don't purchase them, they rent them from our bookstore and can return them. We've added technology to the campus in the way of digital signage and digital media cameras. We've built up the AHONEY gallery display equipment. We've sponsored community events and speakers. And we've also are putting together a faculty professional development opportunity. Finally, we have a couple of scholarships, and I'm really proud to say that the AAUW this year developed an endowed scholarship. They did it in record time and have presented us now with an opportunity for scholarship for a student here in Petaluma. And then we have the funding of the June Silva Scholarship as well. In terms of academic progress, I wanted to share with you some information about what happens when students come here. You've heard from Girelli, but students here in Petaluma, in 2011-12, and that's the year that I have information for right now, we had about 9,000 students who took at least one class on the Petaluma campus. And almost 100% of those took credit classes because we don't have a lot of non-credit courses here. But 41% of those students took courses solely on the Petaluma campus. About half of them took courses on both Petaluma and Santa Rosa campus, and nearly 20% of them were enrolled in 12 units or more. So this is no longer a commuter campus. We have a lot of students who are here taking a full load. Students in Petaluma are more often women, and by just a slight margin, and they tend to be younger. They tend to be under 29 years of age compared to SRJC overall. And we also tend at this point to have fewer 50-plus students in our courses. Our students actually are more often persist from the fall to the spring semester as compared to overall students at SRJC, which is a good thing, having them continue from one semester to the next. And they also have a higher rate of successful course completion in our basic skills, whether that's English as a second language or English or math. They are outperforming the college averages overall. And another really terrific thing is that they tend to have a higher rate of degree completion. So our students are somewhat different from the students overall, the ones that we have currently. What I'd like to do is to talk just a little bit, though, about our future students, because we're working with the students of today, but there's an interesting shift that is about to occur with regard to students in the state. And I'm going to, Casey Graney, our Director of Institutional Research, put this together, and we've used it for some other presentations. And this talks about the population growth, projected population growth up to 2050. In the counties Lake Marin, Mendo, and Napa, and this is Sonoma County. So Sonoma County is projected to grow at a much faster rate than some of the other counties that surround us. And if you look at that population by demographically, so this is the white population in Sonoma County by age and gender. And what you can see here is that, there's a large, I'm in this group, there's a large group of people, and Casey refers to this as our middle-age bulge in the data. And to contrast with that, these are Latinos in Sonoma County by age. And you can see, just going back and forth, the significant difference between those two groups. Our Latino population is a much younger population than is our white population. If you take a look at public school enrollment in Sonoma County, K-12, you can see that 47% are white and 42% are Latino. That's in 2012. If you take a look at just Santa Rosa City and kindergarten only, that produces a pretty significant shift. And by that time, if you're looking at that group of students as they move through our system, 62% of them are Latino. If we take a look at Southern Sonoma County and the current Latino kindergarten enrollment, you can see how that's changed over the years between 2007-8 and 2012-13. So even in this area, we've got a shift in that enrollment. This shows the 12th grade enrollment in the 12th grade enrollment and the high school graduates, and then those that are enrolled at SRJC. And you can see that the gap between the 12th grade enrollment and high school graduates is the dropout rate. And you can see that quite a number of those students come to SRJC. It's a significant number of students who enroll. I do want to point out that when you look at just something like the algebra test, that 34% of all high school students test proficient on that test. Females test a little bit higher than males on that currently, but you can see the vast differences between those that are, economically disadvantaged. There's a significant difference, and the difference in performance between Latinos and white students. So that tells us a lot about what kind of work we need to be doing in the future. Also then, you can see for SRJC how our enrollment has shifted pretty considerably. This is our Latino enrollment